war starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Money, ZSM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and welcome to my guide to jungling Jakiro in patch 7.06b. This is the first Jakiro jungling guide I think I've put out this year. It's pretty fun, it's pretty straightforward, and it's greedy as shit, so you may get flamed for using it. I wouldn't recommend going full Jakiro jungle, so like what I do here is I go super greedy, take all the runes, come out with an Iron Talon, buy clarities for myself. Realistically, in a game, if you don't want to just rush toward the Midas, which I achieve at about 8 minutes in this guide, you're free to just buy a Quelling Blade, buy a bunch of items for your team, and then be a much more traditional cliff jungler, and that way you get a decent amount of farm and can leave the jungle. However, if you really want to just get as much farm as possible, you can get an 8-minute Midas with this, and then go push your lane. So Liquid Fire, his E, which costs no mana and is awesome, actually does its damage over time effect on towers. So he's a great pusher. Also, because it's an area of effect damage over time ability that pierces magic immunity, I believe, because it works on buildings. I max that first, and the clarities are really there just so that I have enough mana to spam my dual breath. One thing that I do, it's not a big deal like at all, but it would have been a little more efficient if I targeted the smaller Ursa here, and in general if I target the smaller Ursas and the small Centaurs before clearing the rest of a camp, because both of those creeps give a magic resistance aura to nearby creeps. So it's a pretty straightforward guide. Chop down the medium camp trees, chop down the large camp trees, and then just go and harvest my runes at the appropriate times. The Gloves of Haste is kind of a big item for a lot of heroes in the jungle because it increases your overall DPS significantly when you're, you know, a ranged right-clicking cliff jungler. However, with Jakiro, because you're so ability dependent, for lack of a better term, it's not as important. I do try to get it pretty quickly, but it's not as big of a deal. And also, if you're a Jakiro jungling a Hand of Midas, then you may want to consider not rushing the gloves to you super quickly, because you probably want to give higher priority to your mid or whoever else needs the courier, because you're a Jakiro. I always focus down the large pink/purple, like the largest satyr, when I'm doing this camp, because his AoE regen aura is nothing to scoff at. It is pretty significant. And now I think I unsuccessfully attempt to stack this. I might actually successfully stack this, I don't recall. No. It's way off stack. Sorry, I can barely... When I go back and edit these, I can actually barely see the game timing, because the window's smaller. I have no idea how to make this max size, and I can't just record the sound over a traditional video clip, because as you know, the speed has been increased using my editing software. So yeah, there you have it. It's pretty straightforward. Again, I'm going to get my Midas at around 8 minutes from then. I'll get brown boots and eventually upgrade those into arcane boots. I really like to combine arcane boots and mech at some point and get guardian greaves on most support heroes. However, Jakiro's not a bad carrier for it, but because of the fact that Jakiro's kind of squishy and doesn't really have any natural mechanism through which he can make himself less squishy via stats or abilities or natural item builds, he can get picked off, and if he dies before he gets his Guardian Greaves off, then that is a massive amount of gold on your team that no longer exists. A safer choice is going for an Aghanim Scepter and an Aether Lens. With an Aghanim Scepter and an Aether Lens, your Macropyre ability sends out a line of fire that is a mile long. It is ridiculous how, like, the sheer space that you cover with your ultimate when you have an Aether Lens and an Ags is absolutely ridiculous. I actually don't know if Ags increases the space. I do know that it increases the damage, though, and since you already have the increased space and the increased damage, you know, they go hand in hand. It just makes your ultimate better. Another thing that I'd like to point out is, in this guide, because I was really trying to just get as much money or kill as many creeps as quickly as possible, to get as much money experience as quickly as possible, to get my Midas as quickly as possible, I put a second point into my queue. In a real game, I would be much more tempted much more likely to put a single point in my W because that stun is amazing. It's a wonderful stun, and it's a great value point because it doesn't scale. Regardless, I will still max my E by level 7 because it is awesome, and I love pushing. You guys know I'm a big guy. I'm a big pushing guy, so I want to get anything that is good against killing buildings as quickly as possible. I could see myself maybe changing that build up if I were against like a Trent Protector or something, but it's probably not going to happen. That's probably always going to be the first thing I max. It's a pretty straightforward build. Blink Dagger is something that like some people get on Jakiro, but it's not something. He's not a hero that needs it as bad as a lot of supports, just because he is going to rely on initiating from far away because of how long his range is, especially with an Aether Lens. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys have fun jungling Jakiro, and have a wonderful day. Peace out, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Monies, ESM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and thank you for watching that video. If you liked that content, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more content from me, hit the subscribe button. There's actually a little bell icon next to the subscribe button, and if you hit that button, then whenever you have YouTube open and I go online or post a video or really do anything, you'll get a little update from me. If you want to support the channel further, there are Amazon affiliate links in the video description below for pretty much every single piece of hardware in my computer. Additionally, there's also an Amazon referral link for Amazon Prime, so whenever you use that to get an Amazon Prime membership, you support the channel at no additional cost to you. So thank you very much, guys, and have a wonderful day.